Okay, welcome everybody to our second live stream of the day. We are on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we are flying from Mobile downtown to Lakefront Airport in New Orleans. We're doing an ILS approach on this runway, so we are going to follow our markers. And our nav log says we're going no higher than 8,000 feet for this flight. So we're going to plug in that 3250, and then we're going to slowly increase as we get closer, and then bugle 6250, and then cruise at 8,000. So yeah, we're gonna just slowly progress our altitude on our flight. We're going to try that and see how that works. Anyway, let's get in here and get everything set up for our departure. And then we are also going to make sure we change our weather this time. So, all right.
Downtown Tower Cessna 237 at runway 36 ready for departure IFR to Lakefront. Cessna 237 altimeter 29.999 wind 282 at 11. Cleared for takeoff runway 36. Cleared for takeoff runway 36 Cessna 237.
Let's change the weather real quick. And let's make sure our flight assistant has, yep. And that should be it. Probably going to be a pretty quiet stream this morning, maybe, or this afternoon-ish, depending on where you are in the world. But everybody's welcome here. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight to New Orleans. Here we go. I didn't plug in that information. Alright, once we get kind of airborne, alright, here we go. See, then it just noses right over. We need to get positive.
Contact mobile departure on 118.5. Good day. 118.5 Cessna 237. Mobile departure Cessna 237 is at 800 feet, climbing 6,000 feet.
Alright, we're going to go all the way to 6,000.
Mobile departure altimeter 29.9 to continue to Sierra, Juliet, India, as planned.
Let's get our nav mode, autopilot. There we go. Yeah, we kind of got a little bit off course there, it seems like, but our navigation system will bring us back online with our flight plan. off with a little bit of flap this morning. That's interesting, because normally we don't. We're going to intercept back onto our line there, our magenta line. And then we're going to turn, and then we're going to follow that track out to that point there. Good afternoon, Mick. How are you? I always feel like I talk a little louder than I should because I've got the headphones on and I've got the thing turned up a little bit so I can hear the air traffic controller. Catch our magenta line here shortly. Kind of making small little right turns till we head towards our first point there. So far so good. No crazy requests to go to 18,000 feet, knock on fake wood. Oh boy. I am trying to find out if I need to be at a meeting on Tuesday for the Veteran Story Project. So depending on the yay or nay, there may not be a Microsoft Flight Sim not long after we do our service on the Peninsula Corridor on Tuesday. What I may do is maybe Monday night I may pre-record it just on Twitch, download it and set it as a premiere for Tuesday. Yeah, I might just do it that way. Yeah, I may have to do it that way. We may get 2 Flight Sim streams on Monday, but it depends on if I have to go downtown for a meeting or not. So, waiting to find out. On our way to 6,000 feet. Autopilot making slight adjustments here and there. Looks like we've got just a little bit of wind that's pushing us off, but we'll let the autopilot deal with that. That's what he's paid to do. Not that we pay him much. So Lakefront Airport is way over yonder, but this is our first turn, major turn towards the airport. We're gonna follow this track here. Oh boy. I should say, well, not that I have to, but so my dad's side of the family is predominantly from, or not predominantly, but my dad's side of the family, as far as I know, is all from Alabama. There was one summer, and that's when I was looking for the battleship Alabama. Hello, Daniel. We drove basically just about the entire state of Alabama one summer. We went out for a visit, visited my dad's side of the family, and so my dad lives there now, near outside of Birmingham. Hello, Mela. There's certainly interesting places about the state. Near Birmingham, they do have the. It's just outside of Birmingham. I can't remember the name of the town. I'd have to look it up. As a matter of fact, it's marked. Right? If you go to my Flickr page, there's pictures from the. What's it called? There's a motorsport museum and racetrack. Barber Motorsports Park. That's it. There. Okay, that I can do.
Climb and maintain 8,000 feet.
Oh, what
Cessna
the heck?
237.
Oh my goodness, we are.
Stall.
We are pitching up so much that we are stalling. Wow. Oh, we are trimmed way too much, that's why. Okay, hold on. Things are gotten wonky all of a sudden. Oh, what in the world? Why? Why?
Stall.
What is going on?
Stall.
Wow, that got crazy there for a moment. 8,000. That was weird. Whew. Man, this game is trying to give me a heart attack. Okay. Man.
Cessna 237, please expedite your climb. 8,000 feet.
Yeah, well, I nearly had an accident there, ATC. Oh my goodness, what in the world? I should have just dialed that in before we took off. I totally forgot that. It's not going. It's like thinking, but it's not playing. Gracious, why? now things are not wanting to go the way it wants to go.
Cessna 237, please expedite your climb.
Yeah, I know. I'm well aware of what I got to do. Goodness gracious. Man, this is driving me nuts today. I don't know why this is doing this. Well, let's turn on autopilot first. Okay, now it should start climbing to 8,000 feet, I think. I hope. I don't know why it's not... Why is it not doing this? I don't get it. Nice. Hopefully you enjoy that, Daniel.
Cessna 237, please expedite your climb. 8,000 feet.
I don't think there's an expedite button. Not like in other... It wants to just stay right there at 6,000. Alright, now I think we're going to climb. Okay, I think we're climbing. Oh, nice. That sounds good. That sounds really good.
Cessna 237, please expedite your climb. 8,000 feet. Cessna 237, contact Houston Center on 127.65. Good day.
127.65 Cessna 237. Houston Center Cessna 237 is passing 6,100 feet, climbing 8,000 feet.
Cessna 237, Houston Center altimeter 29.92, continue to SQWID as planned.
There we go. If we do 200 feet a minute, we should get up there. I'm not going to try to expedite, because I know if I expedite that, we'll end up stalling. I don't know why. I think I tried to put some positive... I put some climbing trim on the plane, so when we took off, it kind of just did a steady climb, but I think I went too far on the trim to do a climb, and so that's why we end up stalling very quickly. But yeah, I should... One of the things I need to be better about before we fly is making sure we put all the information in, because trying to do it when we take off, the aircraft tends to kind of just, it pitches down, it starts, starts diving back towards the ground while I'm trying to do all that stuff, and I don't trust the AI pilot, like, flying in cursor. It starts to do all kinds of crazy stuff. And then it's like it wants to have you know, it's trying to do its own thing. So yeah, I should have probably just put in 8,000 feet right off the bat as our cruising altitude. But I thought we would step it, you know, like we would go, you know, like we got one coming up, it's only at 6250, but we're going to be near 7,000, or, you know, we're getting there, we're climbing up to 8,000, so. We need to go a little bit quicker. There we go. That's bananas, but that kind of means. I have to wonder, because Abella did say one time, I'm having steak and bananas, and it sounded like you were eating it all at one time or another, not separate. Like, I'm going to have the steak, and then for dessert I'm going to have bananas. So, yeah. So that did kind of throw people off, I think. That doesn't sound very appealing, to be honest, either. The two of them together just, oh, no thanks. So, anyways, alright, we got our craziness out of the way. We're en route to Lakeport now, or Lakefront, not Lakeport, Lakefront. We've got 85, almost 80, just under 86 nautical miles to go. So that's about 90. Let's see. Let's just plug that in my calculator on my phone. 84.99 times 1.151. So 97 miles, just under 100 regular miles on the ground to get to our destination. So, anyway, alright, we are like bananas, but I never have it with roadkill chicken or steak. Exactly. Alright, we are making our way to 8,000 feet.
Houston Center Air Shuttle 6170 is passing flight level 390, descending 10,000 feet.
Air Shuttle 6170 Houston Center, continue as planned.
Right, plantains. Oh. I don't think I've ever had plantains before. Constipation, as it is filled with fiber. The juice from the shoot is also known by locals to help with ailments like snake bites, kidney stones, and stomach ulcers. Did not know that. It is a extract, has many different uses, it looks like. I would guess it's something, you know, like maybe alternative medicine, maybe? Alright, so we are near, We're getting close to 8,000 feet. Let's see if the computer starts to slow our rate yet. It's starting to bring us in line. Feet. I think I can turn. Oh, it itself off. Well, there we go. All right, there we are. I kind of winged that one. I just was pushing buttons to see if we can get
traffic is 9 o'clock, 4 miles at 4,000 feet generic. Report them in sight.
9 o'clock.
Generic Niner, 8 kilo traffic is 2 o'clock, 4 miles at 8,000 feet Cessna Skyhawk. Report them in sight.
It should
Cessna
be below
237
us.
have the traffic.
I don't see anything.
Generic Niner, 8 kilo have the traffic.
Well, I'm glad somebody saw it, because I'm looking down below us about the 9 o'clock and I don't see squat. Still back. I haven't seen Chris in a while. I think last time I saw him was in Midstream last week. Alright, so we are following our track still, right there. It kind of looks weird without the yokes. There we go. So we're following that track. We got another one coming up here in about 18 miles. Or
Cessna 237 contact Houston Center on 132.6. Good day.
so it looks like we're okay with the 8,000
Going to
feet finally.
132.6 Cessna 237. Houston Center Cessna 237 8,000 feet.
Cessna 237 Houston Center altimeter 29.9 to
Finally.
continue as planned.
You're about to eat. Of course you are, Amela. Of course you are. Alright, so we have our 1,700. That's our minimum. When we get closer to the airport, that's our... We need to be at about
Cessna
1,700
237
feet.
traffic is 7 o'clock, 2 miles at 5,600 feet generic. Report them in sight.
Cessna
7 o'clock
237
is
traffic
back
in sight.
here.
Houston Center generic
5,600.
November 569er, 8 kilo is at 5,800 feet, climbing 8,500 feet.
Generic November 569er 8 kilo Houston Center altimeter 29.9 to continue as planned.
Wow, what?
Generic
Oh, you saw
Niner,
it.
8 kilo traffic is 9 o'clock, 2 miles at 8,000 feet Cessna Skyhawk. Report them in sight.
Well, I mean, of course you are. That's what you're known for. Is there's two things that we know Mill's known for:
Generic
eating
Niner, 8 kilo traffic in
and
sight.
speeding or spatting on Train Sim World. Whether it's flight or Train Sim World 2, Train Sim World 2021, Train Sim World, it doesn't matter. Babella is known for eating and driving trains like a maniac. There we go. That's the two things we know Abella's known for. If Abella's not doing one or the other, something's not right. Or in conjunction doing both, definitely something's not right. That much we do know. Alright, so we are coming around. I believe that's the Gulf of Mexico off to the left there. Have a nice little view out the window here. There we go. Now, a lot of these areas just get pummeled during hurricane season, and and all that. Just lots of rain and playing games in general like me. That's true too, Daniel. You're right about that. But it's really beautiful area. It's just not... I can't imagine living there and having to deal with all the torrential rainstorms and high winds, and eventually you might spend a bit of time living without power, so you have to have a generator. Yeah. Now here's another little known fact about me. I did live in New Orleans. Matter of fact, when we land, I'll show you kind of the area where I did live for a short while. Quite a story there. I might tell it one day, I don't know. But yeah, it's certainly an interesting place.
Houston Center, Delta 2833 is passing flight level 265, descending 10,000 feet. Delta 2833, Houston Center, continue as planned.
So we're coming across Mississippi here. There's Biloxi below us. Gulfport Biloxi International Airport. I do highly recommend the movie Biloxi Blues with Matthew Broderick and Christopher Walken. It's a Neil Simon play that was turned into a movie. Very interesting movie. I think it was based on Neil Simon's time when he, I think by the time he had gone through basic and all that there in Biloxi, Mississippi, the war was coming to an end. So he didn't serve. But yeah, it's a pretty funny movie. Well, funny and dramatic.
Delta 2833, contact Houston Center on 127.65.
Wow, we got a lot of air traffic today. I'm guessing that's real world, because I do have it set for live traffic, so I think we're getting, people flying into Houston, a lot of air traffic in and out of Houston. Well, yeah, so tomorrow we'll be on Long Island Railroad. We're going to do a service. I was kind of looking at services. Oh, there's Ryan again. We are flying we flew from Mobile, Alabama, downtown airport. We're on our way to Lakefront Airport near New Orleans, Louisiana. We're flying over Biloxi, Mississippi right now. Well, we'll be flying kind of over the airport here in a moment. We got the Gulf of Mexico there, off to the port side. No,
237, contact Houston Center on 127.65.
Yeah, port. Starboard is right.
United 760, contact Houston Center on
if I remember my terms correctly.
Good day.
So anyway, yeah, so tomorrow, Long Island Railroad.
237. Houston Center, Cessna 237, 8,000 feet.
Cessna 237, Houston Center, altimeter 29.92, continue to Gulfport Tango as planned.
Alright, so that's one of our
Houston Center,
waypoints.
United 760 is passing flight level 340, descending 10,000 feet.
Coming up.
United
Should be that one just on the other side of the airport, I do believe.
Houston Center, Spirit Wings 452 is at flight level
Boy.
235, descending 10,000 feet.
Yeah, that was yesterday, Ryan. We flew from
Continue as planned.
Florida over to Mobile, Alabama. But you can go back. They're all up there on YouTube. You can rewatch them if you want. So anyway, Long Island Railroad tomorrow. We're going to do a service from Hicksville to New York Penn. And we're going to do it at a time that would be considered. Now, I don't expect to see a lot of passengers, but I'm just curious to see if there's any noticeable changes on a time where people would be traveling from the suburbs to New York City for work.
American Zero Papa Sierra contact Houston Center on 132.6. Good day.
So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, for sure, we're back on Peninsula Corridor. We're going to do a early morning, just after midnight. We're going to do an all-stop service on the MP36. Kind of just a nice, cool, very early morning, late night sort of thing, just to see the kind of vibe we get on that service. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
132.6 for United 760.
All right, so there's Biloxi International right there. Like most airports, it's got like a main runway, it looks like, for larger aircraft, and then a small sort of airport or strip for, planes like mine, maybe something similar. So, no, the service tomorrow will be, it's in the game, it starts like at 6:37-ish in game, but we're always going live 6:30 in the morning my time, which is 11:30 British summer time. So that way I try to do that so that usually by then most everybody's up and about, and if you've got kids, that you've kind of got them going for the day, or especially pretty soon kids will be going back to school, so you'll have some quiet time, so to speak. So no, it won't be like for the one on Peninsula Corridor. That service starts 4 minutes after midnight. So we're going to do that on Tuesday, just to kind of see, like a late night, somewhat early morning. Depends on, some people say it's late at night. Some people say that's like super early in the morning because you're past midnight, so you're now in the morning session of the day. So we're going to do that on Tuesday, just to kind of see how the lighting looks, on Peninsula Corridor that late. It's like the very first service that you can do. So, maybe it's, we'll kind of think about it as, we're bringing people back from, there's big parties downtown finally in San Francisco, and a lot of people are taking the train back to San Jose instead of driving, that sort of thing, maybe. I don't know. But I always like to come up with little stories why we're doing certain things. So. But maybe a San Francisco Giants game went into super extra innings, and they didn't get done till like 11:30 or so at night, so we're waiting for all the people to come to the station, and, So, yeah, so we'll do that Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday's Microsoft Flight Sim is up in the air, no pun intended, until I hear about if I have to go downtown for a meeting on Tuesday or not. So we'll get started on on the train sim, and then if I'll probably have to leave shortly after we get done with that, because that's going to be over an hour. No, I don't have to leave right away. So we should have plenty of time if I start at 6:30, barring any sort of hiccups. So, anyway, please do leave a thumbs up. It's all greatly appreciated. It helps out something or other. I guess it helps out the algorithm. I don't know. I couldn't say for sure. But, if you appreciate your flight crew, do leave them a thumbs up. That's true, Daniel. That is true.
Houston Center generic November 569er 8 kilo is at 6,000 feet climbing 8,500 feet. Generic November 569er 8 kilo Houston Center altimeter 29.9er to continue as planned.
Pass Christian.
Generic 0 Papa Sierra.
That's the name of the town. Pass Christian. Huh. Interesting name for a town, it looks like. Let's see. For once in his life, he has a good point. I would think that Daniel's had some good points overall in his life. That may not be the first good point in his life.
Cessna 237 contact Houston Center on 132.6. Good day.
Going to 132.6 Cessna 237. Houston Center Cessna 237 8,000 feet.
Cessna 237 Houston Center altimeter 29.9er to continue to Mudda as planned.
Mudda. We are on our way to Mudda. Mudda should be that point right there, I do believe. We open up our flight plan. Should say Mudda is next. Nope, it does not. Interesting.
Delta 2249er contact Houston Center on 126.875. Good day.
All the love in the chat. That's swell.
Going to 126.875 Delta 2249er.
Alright, so from here, if I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember where the highway is. I don't know if it's this one off the right wing tip or if it's over this bridge, but we should be crossing over into Louisiana here shortly, if we haven't already. Oh, man. Now we just need Mick to express his love too, and then everything will be okay. It's like a small airport down there, Diamond Head. I kind of feel like this is the freeway right here, but I could be wrong. I guess it depends on which way you want to be routed. I guess if you follow this road here, I mean, you're going to see a lot of the coastline, but the weather's really nice. Watch, we're going to go to 127.0 here in a second. There it goes. There we are. Dick said it. Now everything's good in the chat. Mick had the final word. All right, so we have. So here it's saying 6,800 feet is our. We should start descending soon. But see, that's the interesting thing. So when it sees this, the autopilot doesn't acknowledge, like, oh, I have to, like, tell it to go to 6,800 feet, I think. But we may get instructions to go ahead and descend to that level once we pass that marker. I think that's Mutta. We haven't been told to go to 127.0. Interesting.
Cessna 237.
I will, Nick.
Miles northeast. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors ILS runway 18 right approach.
Okay, there we go.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors ILS runway 18 right approach Cessna 237.
Amen. All right. Stay at 8,000 feet, por favor. We can do that. All right, so log is over there. So we should pick up another track there once we pass that marker. And then we should start, because we're coming in over the water, over lake. Hold on a second. Let's see. Let's take a look here real quick so I can tell you the name of the lake. I want to make sure I get that right. Lake Pontchartrain. I might be pronouncing that a little bit wrong, but we are coming in over. Okay, cheers, Daniel. I'll catch you later. That's the lake we're coming in over when we land here at Lakefront. No crash. We're not going to crash. If you did, it's because you jinxed us, Ryan. So that's the lake we're flying over when we come into Lakefront. Goes into veteran pilot mode. I don't know about going into veteran pilot mode, Nick, but we do try to make it interesting.
Maintain 1,700 feet.
All right, we are on our way down to
Descend and
1,700
maintain
feet. Let's go.
1,700 feet Cessna 237.
Why is it not? Try to All right. So there's our airport. There, about 30-ish miles away. Still are not ready for approach mode just yet, but we're going to get down to 1,700 feet. And we should level up back off here. We should see a turn. Well, we're flying right towards it apparently.
November 825 Sierra Tango is passing flight level 220, descending 10,000 feet. Generic November 825 Sierra Tango.
That with two bumps in land today, Rob? Or is it going to be a soft landing and no jumping down the runway? Well, we'll see. I'm going to hope for a soft landing. We're working on the landings, that's for sure. Alright, we are starting to come down to our new altitude here. Wow, look at that. All marshy and stuff. Bet you it's super delicious down there. Some marsh water. That sounds good. Let me get a big glass of marsh water, please. Alright, so there's one more marker and then we should turn to the right. Let's see if I'm correct in that. Yep. So we're going to go to that mark and then we'll turn towards that log area. Slidell, that's an area that I know. I've been over there to Slidell before.
Cessna 237, contact New Orleans approach on 133.15. Good day.
Alright, we got our new... so we're doing good.
For Cessna 237. New Orleans approach Cessna 237, 1,700 feet.
Cessna 237 New Orleans approach altimeter 29.9 to continue as planned.
There we go. Well, I'm trying to improve the landings. It's not easy. Eventually what I should try to do, and I've been doing landing outside the plane, which is a bit of a guess because it's hard to judge your distance. I should just trust, and be inside the cockpit like like the normal pilot would be. Pilots don't have the ability to fly outside of their aircraft, when they're landing or any other time. So I should just trust that and fly like I should. But yeah, we've been okay. If we have a few bumps at the end, well, I've lived in quite a few different places in America over the years. Certainly I grew up, I lived across from New Orleans, across the lake there, near Slidell and all that. So, but I've traveled, a lot in the military as well. I visited a lot of places. I love pointing out different things about different states, and just try to. I don't want to just make this about the flying and trying to land and everything. I like to make it about the you know, pointing out some interesting places and stuff like that. So, all right, we should be making a right turn. It's kind of got us going a little bit towards there, but it's not, we're not making a full right turn here just yet, but we should here any moment. There it goes. And then that's our, that should be our lineup. Once we get to that point right there, that log point, then that should line us up for our ILS approach into Lakefront Airport there. So, no, I try to make it interesting, just like on Train Sim. If I know an area, or I know something, you know, like when we do Boston, Providence, I'm going to try to point out some stuff, some interesting things about the area. You know, so I've lived in some interesting places over the years, so. Pelican, not sure what's right there. I think we're going to go one more turn to that point. Yeah, I think we're going to track here, and then we're going to turn again a little bit more to the right to pick up that, and then we'll turn left to go over the lake here. So if I remember my area here correctly, this might be the big, this is a very famous bridge here in Louisiana, going across the lake to New Orleans. If that's the bridge I'm thinking of. No, we're not landing on water. Eventually, at some point, we will do a flight where we will take off and land on water, but not yet. I need to practice with that and all that. So I gotta look to see if there's some videos on YouTube that kind of give you an idea of what to expect and what to do and all that kind of stuff. So I think this is the Huey P. Long Bridge. If this is the one that I'm thinking of here, that goes over Lake Pontchartrain. Yep, I think that's it. Or maybe it's this next one. No, that seems like something else. That seems like maybe train bridge? I don't know. Maybe this is it here. No, that doesn't seem the case. No. No, but eventually we'll do a water landing. We'll take off and land on water. That's, it's on the list of things to do. Amongst many things. One day, for a stream, we're going to do a flight. I got to figure out, I got to work on it a bit, but I want to do a flight from San Francisco to Las Vegas in the Airbus 320, and hopefully we get it'll be a nice flight and with little to no incident. I guess, are we coming back around? I would have thought we would have turned by now. Huh. Well, at least we're just having a nice flight over the lake here. Alright. Well, I know this might be the boring part, waiting for us to line up for the landing. We should pick up our localizer information here pretty soon. Once we make that turn and we start headed towards Lakefront, then we'll hit the approach mode, and that should capture the ILS information, and then we should line up for the runway there. I see the light flashing there in the distance, kind of. You can see it kind of trickling along the water. It's something very similar to what you see when you go into approach at San Francisco. Like if you've seen the videos of the planes landing, they see the ILS lights going, because those lights are out in the bay guiding the pilots, or guiding the aircraft basically, or at least letting the pilots know where the runway is. Alright, our turn is coming up there. That's our line there, so we should have we should see it here in a moment. We zoom in here. There we go. So once that comes into view, we'll have a better idea of what we're getting ready to do. Looks like we're gonna just make a turn. Alright, so basically it looks like we're doing kind of like a go around, or like we're gonna go past and then make a lazy right and then come into.
12 miles northeast of Lakefront. Maintain present heading and altitude.
Maybe not.
Contact Lakefront Tower on 119.9er.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Tower on 119.9er Cessna 237. Lakefront Tower Cessna 237 12 miles north inbound ILS runway 18 right approach.
Ooh, it's getting all official now.
Lakefront Tower. Altimeter 29.9er 21270 at tree. Cleared ILS runway 18 right approach.
Winds out of 270.
Cleared ILS
3 miles
runway
an hour.
18 right approach Cessna 237.
Alright, so we should see, we're going to fly this direction still a little bit longer, and then we should make a nice left turn into the approach, is what I'm expecting. Alright, there it is. As always, if we crash in the water, it's everybody for themselves. I hereby waive all responsibility. So Mick, now here comes the big question. Do you have your latte ready? Is your latte in hand, ready for a nice landing here at Lakefront, New Orleans? That's the big question now. When Mick is feeling relaxed and he's got his latte in hand, and he's not set it down, and, that's what I know. Mick is trusting my landing here in a moment. All right, so we did just hit that left, coming around here. There we are. We should be lining up momentarily. Before, when I've flown, Nick gets very anxious. Well, that's because I was flying anxious too, I think. All right, let's turn on the approach mode. What is it? 1, 2, 3. Approach. Or maybe I turned it on. Tried to turn it on too early. Okay. So we're waiting. So GP right there, if you see it right there, that means once that turns green, then the plane has the glide path. I'm good to go, Captain. I should know the routine. Let's do this. All right, Mick. Sounds good. The vote of confidence from Mick. There's our lineup. We can start getting our flaps down as we get closer. We want to maintain our 1,700 feet. But the plane should capture the glide path as we get close to those red markers there. Get a little bit of flap here so we can start slowing down. We'll put some more flap as we get closer to, we get into the glide slope there. Let's see if our, oops. So it hasn't captured a glide path yet. The approach mode is engaged, even though it doesn't say on. We're waiting for the, basically the plane's computer to, and invert and put more flap down. So we need to put a little bit of throttle on so we don't stall. Alright, so we're still lining up there. Okay, it's gone green, so it does have the glide path, so it's picked up the ILS localizer. Hello, I'm not sure who you are, but thanks for coming in. Don't speak, thinking either that's Korean or Japanese. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's Chinese, but I don't know. I think it's either Korean or Chinese or Japanese. But welcome.
Cleared to land runway 18 right, Cessna 237.
So as we glide in here, once we get closer to the runway, we'll fire the autopilot like we did before. there should be a few adjustments made. Yep, there we go. Autopilot is keeping us lined up with the runway. There, we see it there now. Come off the throttle a little bit at a time here. Get one more bit of flap here just before we
$500.
Yep. Last bit of flaps down. Should slow us down even further. Get ready to fire the autopilot. There's our ILS lights right there. We're going to let the autopilot get us over the runway, and then we're going to fire them. Autopilot, you are fired.
Stall.
There we go.
Cessna
I wanted to try to land in the aircraft without the not being outside, so that wasn't too bad. It's kind of hard to judge the distance, of course.
Cessna 237 contact ground on 121.7.
But there we are.
121.7 for Cessna 237. Lakefront ground Cessna 237 request taxi to parking.
Cessna 237 taxi to General Aviation parking via taxiway Bravo cross runway 36 right Delta Foxtrot.
Taxiing to General Aviation parking via taxiway Bravo cross runway 36 right Delta Foxtrot Cessna 237.
Well, welcome everybody to Lakefront, New Orleans, or Lakefront, Louisiana, I should say. Not New Orleans, but we are near the historic city of New Orleans. Welcome. Well, there we are, folks. Go to our parking spot. We will shut down. And we will end the stream. Well, no, we're going to shut down, then we're going to talk a little bit about tomorrow's flight. Wow, this thing is going way too fast here. Pumping the brakes, and it's like it's not wanting to slow down. Now it slows down. Jeez. Well. Alright, follow this over here. Looks like our parking spot is right there. Okay, there's our parking spot, General Aviation. Hopefully everybody enjoyed today's flight. We tried to make it as smooth as possible. One of these days we're going to fly in some really inclement weather. Make it really interesting. All right, there we are. Let's stop the engine. We have a arrival checklist. I think we do. After landing, parking. Let's go to securing. Autocomplete that, and that should end it. There we go. All right. Just about an hour and 10 minutes flight time. So, yeah, not too terribly bad, that flight. So, let's go back to the main menu here. And let's talk about tomorrow's flight. Tomorrow we are going to fly from here. So, basically what we're trying to do is fly from whatever we land at, if we can. Within reason, of course. We're going to fly from here. We're going to take off on runway 36 right. And we are going to fly to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now that's the Metropolitan Airport, but we're going to try to see if we can pick up a ILS approach. Let's just check real quick. We're going to go IFR, low altitude, and approach will be, that says ILS 13. Which runway did we pick? It's 4 right. 13 is right. 4L, so 13 would be, I'm guessing, right there. Okay, what about 22L? Does that have an ILS approach? No. All right, ILS 13. All right, so we'll pick that up. So basically, we're going to go fly, and then we're going to do this loop around at the end and come into the airport there. But that's our flight, about just over an hour. So Covington, yep, Mandeville's where I lived before for a short while. That's the bridge that I was looking for right there. That goes into Metairie, Metairie, New Orleans area. So there it is. Can't really see it because the photo isn't very well done, but that's the Huey P. Long Bridge that goes from. So we will actually take off and go past that. We'll go over that bridge, then we'll turn and then we'll navigate this way. And then we'll follow this, and then we'll do this kind of loopy turn, and then we'll come back in. So anyway, I guess everybody left. Man. Alrighty, well, that's going to be it for today. I will see everybody tomorrow on Long Island Railroad in the morning, first thing, and that will be it.